I like spaceships.
With MakingStarWars.net.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today I'm joined as always by my sketchy friend Rob.
You caught me watching Odd Taxi, Jason. We gotta go do the
What?
podcast.
What?
Yeah, Odd
Are you
Taxi.
sure?
Never heard of it?
I heard of Fake Taxi.
Odd Taxi is an anime featuring a walrus taxi driver in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's really nonplussed by everything. He's like our age. He's like,
So just really important, something that really is really important, sounds like.
it's as low stakes as it gets. Odd Taxi. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you for coming out and hanging out for a few minutes before your sleepy time, because we're on different time zones. He goes to bed while I'm waking up, you know. We're like kind of like Lady Hawk over here. You ever seen that movie? It was badass.
Yeah, with Matthew Broderick, Rutger Hauer.
Yeah,
Michelle Pfeiffer,
good stuff.
was it? Or was it Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, it was the Fife.
Yeah, okay.
It was the Fife, yeah.
Okay, I in the mid '80s, I get her confused with Rebecca De Mornay. You know, like they kind of blur a little together for me.
Right. So yeah. So I decided, you know what? It's Sunday night. We haven't done a stream ever. Let's do one. Let's do a story. Let's do a story tomorrow. Let's never stop doing stories, is what I decided. And so this one I've been wanting to share for quite a while. And it's some of the details have already been released before by me. And but this is going to elaborate and give us the name of O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character. So here it is right here. It says exclusive. I'm a big boy. I can do spoilers too. I got all the casting right over the summer. Who am I? Bonus points if you know. Exclusive. O'Shea
Disney
Jackson.
Plus. Sorry.
Yeah, I got my own big boy bitch ass subscription. Sorry, Jordan Mason can't take my name out of his mouth like fucking Chris Rock at the Oscars. All right, exclusive. O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character name revealed in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this is the video you're watching. So if you want to Inception it, we can, but let's not. Okay, I believe O'Shea Jackson Jr. is playing a character named Roken in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. This character is in multiple episodes and aids Kenobi along his journey in the limited series. I'm under the impression Roken could be one of the breakout characters from this Star Wars story. Something I didn't put in the article, but I'll give you on the show because I love you guys the most. He lives. He doesn't die. So that's your bonus, okay? So right now I got the name. Roken agrees to take Obi-Wan Kenobi and Princess Leia Organa to Alderaan. However, Roken is a first-come, first-served kind of guy. As the captain of a large ship, Roken must finish his current charter first. Roken and the ensemble are heading to the first charter stop, then to Alderaan to drop the 10-year-old Princess Leia off. That's the plan anyway, you know. And that's how these things go with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I couldn't help myself. I had to write the Force Roken. That's how I first memorized the name when I heard it. It's okay.
Clever.
Anyways,
I like it.
Yeah,
it's clever.
I informedly speculate it's via Kumail Nanjiani's character that they meet Roken in Chapter 2 after rescuing Leia from the spice den on Daiyu. We think Kumail Nanjiani's character is a bit of a seedy dude, but he's actually part of this underground railroad movement doing a very honorable thing as one of Saw Gerrera's partisans. Of course, as in most of Kenobi's adventures, hiring someone for transport is never a linear experience, and you're going to end up on an adventure with them. You know, Death Stars, Alderaan getting blown up, etc.
That's why Mando takes the bus.
And yeah, and that's in episode 4 of the Star Wars saga, you guys, just in case anybody, God, so some people are taking these reports and misreading something however they want to and really going to town with them. My DMs are open and they know it. What can you do? So anyways, we know Leia is recaptured by Reva using her Polly Pocket droid as bait in the 3rd chapter. And in the 4th chapter, they break her out of the Nur Inquisitor fortress. Sometime in that kerfuffle, the princess is saved, but Kenobi is badly burned in the aftermath by Darth Vader getting a little Sith revenge. After Kenobi is saved by Roken and Leia, in what sounds like the coffin Sidious put Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, and taken back to Jabim where he is healed. Several sources have confirmed Roken is in that sequence where Kenobi is saved by the Force sensitives. I'm not saying he is Force sensitive. Unfortunately, I have to say stupid shit like that in these articles now. I am not saying he is Force sensitive. He's the pilot.
Show's about Roken and Reva.
This is all about... You gotta be Roken me right now. You're Roken me, right? You know what? This
sounds too much like Roku. I don't like
sounds
it.
too much like woke. That's how woke this shit is. Okay. It seems like Roken is in essence our pilot for the series. Nanjiani is the warrior, and they help Force sensitives and Imperial dissidents relocate. More on that very soon. Spoiler, I actually wrote something right here, and it spiraled into a whole new article for tomorrow. So you're going to want to watch MakingStarWars.net and the show tomorrow for that. The kinship question. Okay? Because I know it's going to go there. A few crew members could not confirm much about the backstory of Roken, but I found it interesting that they asked me if I know if Roken is the son of Saw Gerrera or a member of his family a few times now. Different people. And because, you know, no one really knows the whole picture. I'm the one who puts the picture together. So sometimes I tell them stuff like the partisans, the people making Kenobi, they had no idea the partisans were anything. You know, I'm like, partisans a big deal. That's like a whole thing from Rogue One. Like, oh shit. And then, but there is a moment where Saw is mentioned. I can't get into that though. I don't feel comfortable getting into that with the amount of accuracy that I like to attempt to report on with. So anyways, they seem to think there's circumstantial evidence that it is possible. I usually cringe when there's a dark-skinned actor on screen in Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe, and people assume they must be connected, such as Finn must be Lando's son. However, in this instance, there is actually a connection between Roken and Saw Gerrera. So we actually do have connective tissue here, albeit just social, but it could be more. But
I'll
in
be
my
fair
opinion,
though, when I see aliens like Masumita, I used to think, is that guy a Twi'lek? What is he?
Mm-hmm.
He's got blue tentacles, you know. He's close, you know.
Yeah. The bane of my existence was some idiot on Amazon put up a Finn puzzle as Finn Calrissian puzzle. And everyone's like, well, that's official. I'm like, no, it's just a third-party seller just writing whatever they want. I could write Finn Ward if I want to and say he's my son. I mean, that doesn't make it true, but nobody listens to me because I just
his first name is Huck, and his middle name is L. Berry.
Nah, his name is Fuck Finn. Weird, right? In my opinion, Roken's familial connections are probably left open in the air. I do feel like if he is Saw's son, it would be pretty explicitly known behind the scenes, but I'm addressing it here since I know this is how it tends to go. So go back, check back for more Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi this week. So that's what I already told you guys about. It's going to be, it's going to be fun. We're going to have more. So, yeah, but I love the name. Roken is it's a pretty good Star Wars name, you know?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty cool. It sounds like if we were having a Star Wars RPG tabletop session, we were playing with that, whoever had that character, I'd be like, man, that's a pretty good fucking name, that bitch, you know? I never played it. I'm not trying to be a poser, but because usually it's like, my name is Din Djarin. I am Din Djarin, a bounty hunter
Solana
journeyman.
and Solani that I like. Two separate characters, same script.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then so who's stealing the show from Kenobi more? Roken or Reva? You decide. But it does at times that kind of remind me of my Roku. Just gonna say that too. It does kind of sound like maybe it's a streaming, watch Disney Plus on your Roken. Anyways.
Well, Grogu covered that territory. It's pretty similar too. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Hawk says I really like him. I really like him too. I think he's one of the I don't follow actors very much, but from what I've seen of him, he's the son of a famous person. Doesn't seem like a maniac, which is great. because I mean we could have like Will Smith's kid or something, you know, they're maniacs. Darth Maximus says, "Yo, what's up, Hawk?" I don't know. How do I know what's up with Hawk? I'm just kidding. Oh, okay. Now you've addressed me. All right. What's up? What's up, Maximus? How you doing? And thank you guys for being channel members. I appreciate that, and it's the best way to support the show. Me getting scoops and being able to travel around and get this stuff for you. So I appreciate the support. So yeah, but
Buys you Lambos. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
right. Yeah, and then one other little thing I will I don't know, man. I kind of like want to make this an article. This other piece of information. Do you think I should I drop it? It
Oh,
could
the
be
thing
an
we
article.
talked about?
Nah, something else. I don't think I got to tell you.
Then how am I supposed to know if we should drop it?
I know. I'm just I'm trying to bait you into saying yeah.
Sure.
So I could do the right so I could do the wrong thing. No,
Yeah.
one question, and I'll just make this. We'll make this the another show exclusive because I do appreciate everybody who shows up randomly on a Sunday night. You know, it means a lot.
Yeah.
That's cool. One question, and I am paraphrasing, not direct quoting, but one question I get asked a lot is like, what does Obi-Wan Kenobi say when he sees Darth Vader for the first time? And I am paraphrasing, but he says, "Oh my God, what have they done to you? I'm so sorry." Like he has, I guess,
Breaks your fucking heart, don't it?
Abject horror is the way I would put it. But and that's paraphrased. I don't know if he says it to him or if he just says it to the camera, to himself, you know. I don't know. But that is the answer that I received more than one time, and it was all pretty much that. So
I like that it's a real human response and not like some. Look, I love Lucas, but you think if he wrote it, it might be some moralistic line, like, you know, humanity should never be imprisoned in a box or some shit like that, almost Stanley-ish, you know? Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Excelsior.
Excelsior. But one thing that I want to talk about like a little bit too about these articles is like, you know, I'm like, you know, every day meeting with people talking. Most of this happened quite some time ago now, obviously, when they were filming Star Wars Kenobi. But while that's happening, I'm like, oh, so today, you know, O'Shea's flying a ship, huh? Okay, today, what's O'Shea doing? Oh, today O'Shea's flying a ship, huh? Okay, you know, you see where I'm going with this? And right. I know, like, I could put O'Shea in certain places like Jabim. I could put O'Shea on Dayu and stuff like that. And there's like, well, I think there's one other location that's sort of like, but anyways, like with Star Wars, they fly around in spaceships and there's all these stops and shit like that. So I hope no one holds my feet to the fire too hard on the itinerary in that article. I know this is me just overdoing it, but I was just like, you know what? Like I can trace in here. I know we end up here putting the timeline together, trying to, and I've, you know, and I do have like I do have the whole thing mapped out now. I do think I understand it. And Dara Varma's character was one of the last pieces, and wink, wink. And so as I was like, you know, getting all this shit down, trying to figure everything out, I'm like, okay, so I think this is how it goes. And so I'm pretty sure that Nanjiani is like the contact, and then that's like, and then Nanjiani probably gets them like in contact with Roken, and then Roken's like, yeah, I can do it, but you know, apparently I don't care that you're a princess. These other people are just as important as you. Which if that's how it goes, that's how it sounded. And if that's how it goes, I like that, because, you know, little princess, she could wait. You know what I mean? She'll get there.
Right.
But yeah, but it sounds I gotta say too, talking to a friend today, and we won't go there today, but I was talking about the last episode to a friend, and they got a little teary-eyed. A little teary-eyed today.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I gotta say, all these people that are trying to milk this thing into turning it into a race war for their own gain, I think by the end of it, they
I
might
believe we're
look a little.
even having that conversation.
Well, I mean, I hate
hold on.
it, dude. It bums
Think
me
about
out,
how
like, in the middle.
toxic. Think about how toxic people thought Star Wars fandom was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like no one ever thought. I'm gonna tell you, not once, ever, from 1997 to 2005, did I ever go, this bit of Star Wars news could be used to incite a race war? Like,
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, what news is going to come out that's going to be manipulated into this bullshit next? You know, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's what it really on my end of things, it's a huge bummer. And I know, like, I don't know if your average just Star Wars person doing this like experiences it in the same way that I do as the messenger who gets shot. You know what I'm saying? So like I end up like kind of getting smacked in the face every single time one of these things like happens, and or some stupid shit happens, or like, hey, people are saying this, or hey, they're reporting it like this. Did you correct them? And a part of me is like, is it my job to correct these fucking people? Like, is that?
Oh, you gotta go around the internet being the spokesperson for fucking Lucasfilm now, dude. Like,
no, not Lucasfilm
or the moral police. You know,
no, like the YouTubers who go and then take it and contort it into being like the bait
I know,
and
but you can
switch
say
thing this week. What am I
you
supposed
have
to
to be the Lucasfilm police, right? Where you got to go around and like give context to every fucking post, as if they would ever listen to you. Anyway, they know, they're just willfully manipulating.
Yeah.
They know damn well what they're doing. It's not a misunderstanding, you know. Like,
that's my take, and my other take is that my DMs are always open. So if you were some kind of writer or you cover Star Wars, and something gave you massive anxiety about how it's going to be bad, you could always just DM me, and I could tell you if my DMs are open for that.
How do you think I got here? Your DMs were open.
Yeah,
like
true.
That's so true. That's how I ended up on this crazy show. Like,
That'll teach
talking
you
about Star Wars race wars. So weird.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
But what DC says in the clip you use at the end of the show from Beverly Hills Cop 3, Lucas looks so uncomfortable putting his arm around another human being. Dude looks like a robot practicing observed human behavior. Yeah,
okay,
that's me on most dates too. I get it. So then DC says, wait, so
to
Jordan
be fair, they
says,
told me she was going to be a robot. I'm like,
yeah,
I was expecting a robot, but
every single time like fucking somebody does or says anything, like every time Jordan Mason says something about me, I got to get like 15 DMs or whatever telling me about what little bitch thing he's on about. And it's just like, he's like, I got the Inquisitors. It's like, yeah, you got some casting, dude. Good for you. Nobody really gives a shit. Like, good work on that low hanging fruit, dude. You know what I mean? Like, but like if and then he fucking he was accusing me of horrible shit. And when I sent him the actual like clarification, he called me a bitch and blocked me, which is the most bitch thing you can do. And then continues to go that way, continues to do it like, but it's like, hey man, you're a big boy, Jordan Mason. You could do the scoops too. Don't worry, you got some.
That would require me to leave my basement, or perhaps the living room where I do lots of kung fu. So,
how about you clean your fucking garage, Jordan Mason, and stop doing karate in front of it in red sweatpants with piss stains all over him, you fucking loser. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. If you want to see comedy, go watch him do fucking kung fu in his front of his dirty garage, in front of his fucking while he's asking for money to get medicine for his kids while he buys Star Wars toys. Fuck you, man. Fucking
gonna be honest,
keep my name out of your fucking mouth, bitch.
Yeah, I normally don't pick on folks unless they bring it, but I'm just going to say it's one step removed from Mama's Family, that whole scenario. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But I will start studying those kung fu videos if I think he's coming for me. I'm just letting you know I will study them. I will watch him do his jump kicks in the front yard. I will overlook the garage and just study the attacks if I have to. Yeah, Rick said it. Keep on Roken in the free world. Yeah. I appreciate that one, James. Junkbox says, why do Roken and Obi-Wan get along? Because Obi-Wan is broken. Oh God, they're broken. I get it. I see where you're going, Junkbox. That was a Mike Porter dad joke of the day if I ever heard one.
I can only imagine that when Lucas told people that the guy that likes to go solo, his name's Solo, that he just got all sorts of laughter from his friends. You know, we take it all for granted now, but it's, like, yeah.
Yeah, so I sent X-Wing an invite. He said he wanted to come say hi. So if he got it, he is more than welcome to come and hang out. Thomas Harris says, thanks for what you do, Jason. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it, man. Like, I like to facilitate good discussion and information and, figure out like, what can it, what does it mean? Where's this going? Because like the thing about this character, what we have here is, and I mean this like respectfully in a badass way, is it sounds like we have our intergalactic bus driver, and he's doing this for the partisans. And what do you start? Where did this start? This started in Rogue One with a science officer and his daughter and the wife getting taken away from Coruscant and hidden and relocating them. And what we're seeing in Kenobi is a continuation of that theme, of that idea. So this stuff that we've seen start in 2016 in Rogue One, we are now seeing come to fruition even further in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that's a pretty fun, badass like concept. And if Roken, who I've confirmed on this series, I believe lives, he's going to probably come into a lot of these stories as the person who has this vessel. That is how they are getting these people out of the Empire, how they're saving potential Jedi and Imperial dissidents and stuff like that. And so he may have like a pretty big future in Star Wars. X-Wing, how's it going, dude?
Hello, my friends. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Nice to have you. I didn't even think about it. I was like, hey, this is a time that you could probably come on the show for once.
I get passed over pretty consistently, but I'm only here to have Rob just roast me to death. So
yeah.
To be honest, I don't even remember you.
There you go. You got roasted. You got roasted.
This is what I came for.
Who are you? It says X-Wing. He's wearing an Imperial hat. I'm just I'm confused. I see a fire spray ship back there.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's confusing to me.
It's the vibe I try.
You got the stash.
Yeah.
You got the 70s stash though. So
yeah, I do. Yeah, it's the pilot stash or porn pilot, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Pilot, say pilot.
I mean, I'm gonna say you're our fandom's Pedro Pascal. That's what I'm gonna say.
I get called Pedro quite a bit.
Yeah. I
Honestly,
think.
so.
Yeah.
As you get older, you might become more like Kenneth Branagh's Poirot, right?
Oh.
Like if you keep that stash going,
all right,
and get those sick ass fucking wicked handlebars going, I'll be impressed.
Yeah. Okay. All right. See, hey, is that a compliment? Is that a step forward?
That's a compliment.
I feel like we've taken a step.
It doesn't get any better than that with him, honestly.
This is what I was going to say.
You're uncertain, so yeah, it doesn't get any better.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, his wife just realized that she's been like being nagged for like 10 years. So no, I'm kidding.
Okay, I'm sure you were talking about Star Wars, so apologies for interrupting that.
No. So so I don't know if you heard like where I was going with the stuff, but basically that Roken is O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character, and Roken is a partisan, which are the Saw Gerrera's cats,
right?
And he is essentially like the pilot who flies this large ship that's it's been described to me as like the kind of ship that Mando flies on in Book of Boba Fett when he sees like the Greedo kid in front of him, like a big like freighter, a big space bus.
When he sees the, wait,
you know where he's missing Grogu and like the little green kid like peers over and then
all right, those were like it was the they were transports, but they were Corellian, weren't they?
Probably they were.
Somebody said something about Corellian, I thought.
Yeah, so it's like basically it's something like that. It's like a giant transport. And so I think this character, and I said, I believe he survives. And so I think we may be seeing a lot more of this guy if they continue to play upon these like plot threads of the partisans being this underground railroad for Imperial dissidents and Force sensitives. And so, yeah.
Well, these partisans turn into the Rogue One offshoot eventually, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, and in Rogue One, like, what do we see them doing? The very first thing we see them doing is a very clean-shaven Saw Gerrera is saving this Imperial science officer and his daughter,
right?
And they're like very sane and doing the right thing. And then when we get to Rogue One, he's pretty jacked up and seems a bit crazy. But I think that's just 20 years of war and maybe the stuff we're going to get into in Cassian a bit, you know what I mean? Where we have a lot of like double crossing and the paranoia, I think, just over the years.
To be fair, Jason, he looks like he's been delivering 20 years of Star Wars scoops.
Yeah.
Oh, Borgala.
Every time I get on Reddit, lies!
Deception!
Every
day more lies.
Right.
That's fair.
That's completely fair. That's 20 years of Star Wars Twitter. So yeah, that all makes sense to me. But
Elon Musk's gonna save us all, right?
Neil says, hey Jason, you made it clear that the 2 15-second clips of footage we'll see this week aren't coming as a trailer. So my question is, where or in what format do you expect the clips to be released? I don't know. I'll never lie to you, Neil. I don't know. I just know that they are coming. And
well, when they did the Boba thing, they did it. Fortnite, didn't they do it on Disney Plus? Oh God, please not Fortnite.
No, Obi-Wan Kenobi got the Disney Plus thing exclusive when it was like the behind the scenes thing. But they accidentally put it on YouTube and then started like banning people or striking them. So then they had to put it on Disney Plus. I think that's why that happened. And then then there was like, I don't know, it was like one of those, one of those magazines that Star Wars fans don't really read, but their moms do. Like had like the exclusive clip, I think, and where it was Boba walking through. I don't remember what it was. Might have been like Vanity Fair or some shit. I can't remember now. But and then
only Star Wars moms read those.
Sorry. And X-Wing, Star Wars moms and X-Wing.
I didn't say that.
Okay, well, I mean, I thought you might want to know.
He was worried about me talking shit. I didn't.
Vaginal scented candles and stuff. That's what I figures in those magazines. So,
according to Gwyneth Paltrow, they taste okay.
All right. So, did you ever hear when the Gwyneth Paltrow pussy candle blew up and burned a house down?
No, that's kind of awesome.
It's fucking rad, right? It's like one of the best stories I ever heard. Anyways, it actually happened. It combusted.
Wasn't it? What's her name? Cardi B that said "pussy power."
I don't know, but I endorse it.
That's it right there.
Yeah, I endorse it.
You go.
So so anyways, I don't want to mislead anybody. What I can say, I've said all I know, and then when that does hit, we'll see. Aria asks, websites are stating that Kenobi has 5 episodes. No, that just isn't true. There are 6 episodes. The 5 episode thing came about because at about the same time they found was it Directors Guild or Writers Guild? I don't remember. But it was the writers stuff leaked out online about who was writing what episodes. And only the first 5 episodes were listed and the 6th episode wasn't listed. So that combined with them combining the release of the first 2 episodes started this concept that there's only 5. That's not true. On the first day when you get on Disney Plus, you're going to have 2 episodes to watch, and then it will be followed by another 4. So, yeah. What Twitter? No, no X-Wing. I'm not going on Twitter. I'm doing a show right now.
Go on Twitter.
God damn it, this guy. But Salvador says, "Are we going to see Bail Organa's sister disguised as
You
Imperial?"
just got to that comment.
Oh yeah, I'm at 7:45, dude. I'm 15 minutes behind. I ramble a lot. So in my article tomorrow, you will read a line that says her name is not Tia. Salvador. That is so. What's her name is not Tia. That's not Bail Organa's sister. That is just. I don't know how that came about. Somebody looked up something on Wikipedia, and then here we are today. And as I saw when you Google the cast, Kenobi cast, it shows her, and it says that she's playing Tia. Yeah, that's bullshit as far as I know. So, yeah. Subdude says we underestimate our own power. All right, that's cool. I mean, I feel more powerful now. Knowing
Nice
that.
compliment.
We have power.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Thomas Shane. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you for being positive.
Love the Punisher, by the way.
Rather than is that Punisher's name?
That's the guy who played him in that 90s. Oh, Jane. Okay. Sorry, Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane.
Okay.
He was the best Punisher in my opinion, by the way.
No, actually, I didn't like that movie. But,
you didn't like the movie?
You didn't like that? Oh. Dude, when he's on the beach and he's all "go with God," and he's all "God's gonna skip this one
Punisher
out."
in
like,
Florida, really fantastic. There's only one thing he should be doing in Florida, and that ain't it. Whatever that
closing
movie is.
Disney World because fuck it, right?
There's work to be done.
Thomas Shane says, "Thank you for being positive to Kenobi." Then the trash, it's ideas like what I've noticed, but certain people are doing. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It sucks, and it bums me out that I arm those people with that kind of stuff. You know, it does.
Aren't there some valid criticisms though?
Oh, there's completely. You can have like valid criticisms. It's but like for instance, to go and like if you look at the arc that I laid out for Reva, and to feel like it's a bait and to call it a bait and switch. That's where I think it steps out of the let's wait and see, or like you haven't seen it yet. You're hearing my reporting on it, and then from there you're extrapolating this critique that you're hoping might stick because it's a
bait
pretty
and switch
good
thing is kind of trash opinion in my opinion. It's an opinion of an opinion. But,
yeah. But like to go through and it could be like we're going to have about I don't know over 4 hours of this Kenobi series, and I lay out she's a little girl. She's taken the Jedi Order. She becomes an Inquisitor. She hunts Nari, kills him, cuts off the guy's hands. Then she hunts Kenobi.
Yeah, if she was the lead villain in Jedi Fallen Order 2, they'd all be fucking clapping, standing up in ovations right now.
You know what? But what I'm trying to say is like to go and extrapolate that's 4.5 hours worth of content there. Where's the room for Kenobi? It's like, well, in the other 15 articles I put out, it's all right there. And if you look at it next to it, you can't make the argument. You'd be silly to. And then so right now, so what is this all Roken driving a bus around space now? Is that the Roken bait and switch?
Do we have any time frames figured out? Like, is each episode an hour at least, or
no.
like 43?
No, they're in that 45-minute range.
45 minute. Okay.
Yeah. So like, I'm not saying one's not 55. I'm not saying one's not 37.
Right.
They're in that 45-minute range. Yeah, and the same.
Can I make a side point on this time thing? Hold on before we jump off the time thing. So when the Daredevil Netflix series started, I want everyone to just, if you go back, find my whatever I was talking about then. I loved every second of it. However, many people were complaining, 13 episodes, too many, too long, lots of filler, blah 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 blah. Complaint. These could be 8 episodes, maybe even half 6. Now you got shows like Moon Knight, and you know what I mean? They're like, it's too short. It needs to be longer. Blah 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 blah. It needs to be a full hour. Like it's just like it needs to be whatever. Long as they set the pace, that's how long it should be. Yeah. Long as they're happy with it. I don't want them to. have to cut down to fill some weird predetermined time slot. Plus, there is a limit. Visual effects wise, Star Wars is not a Marvel show where they can go shoot somewhere on a normal area. Like you get these scenes in Boba Fett where you could tell, oh, they're in a sandbox out back.
Right.
It doesn't look good. A lot of like animation, a lot of work has to go into Star Wars to make it look right. And so every minute costs X amount of dollars. So they have to make every minute count, Like, that's it. You don't want Star Wars on the cheap. When you do Star Wars on the cheap, you get 3 Ewok movies where they're all walking around, the California.
The Redwood forests.
Yeah.
We're on set on Endor.
Yeah, the thing about that side. So like is it a valid criticism? And I have to say, I think if you were to lay out the full plot that I've laid out so far, and remember, I haven't really touched the 6th episode. I've kind of like left that alone. And when you lay that out, though, I don't think it's a valid criticism. I think it's a valid criticism if you look at it from a very narrow window and exclude all of the data I put out. So but when the show does come out, could you say, I wanted more of just Kenobi? Don't worry. You're going to have him riding around in an Eopie back and forth in the sand for probably way too long. And that's probably going to be the first criticism that comes from the show.
He starts walking around on his Eopie.
Yeah. I mean, there is by the sounds of things, there is a lot of that.
Tatooine sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you, and especially when you look at the Book of Boba Fett's geography issues, don't worry. Obi-Wan's going to ride around on that Eopie all over the fucking, cutting up the sand all over the place.
Nobody's going to say, how did this character get there? There's going to be a lot of fast travel.
You're going to know. You're going to know. And so I think that's one of the reasons beyond Celebration that they decided to release 2 episodes back to back for the opening, because then you're in the sand environment. Then in the second episode, it picks up extensively, and you have these bright colors in Dayu and this Reno, Hong Kong kind of like space. And I think that's why they decided to go that way.
That's kind of where that's what I was thinking, is that maybe they were afraid of the first episode falling flat. And so they did 2 so that you got a little bit of a bigger taste of what was happening. And fans weren't going to be like, oh, another Tatooine show. Well, I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi's on Tatooine.
These are the same fans, X-Wing, who were like, all it needs to be is just him in the desert doing nothing. I'll watch that. I'll give me 10 hours of it.
And he better not leave that planet. He better not leave that planet. If he's here, he's one of those.
I almost wonder too. Like, I know fans, they're weird. They're always looking for something to like jump on. So it's kind of a hard read in some ways. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's a hard read. I feel like in this instance, it might be that the fans are going to love the character moments and all of the stuff that's happening in that first episode, because it's like Obi-Wan and he's just like toughing it out. And there are character moments. When I'm joking about the Opie to some extent, but there is like how hard it is for him and Owen and Beru and stuff. But if you're not like a rabid Star Wars fan and Uncle Owen walks on the frame, you don't give a shit. Right. You're just like, yeah, that guy. Okay. You know what I mean? But whereas Star Wars fans will be like, oh shit, it's Uncle Owen. I know that.
Well, and even the Eopie, if you read the novel, if you read the Kenobi novel, I mean, the stuff with the Eopie, and I know they're not going to do Anna Lee or any of the stuff with the Oasis or anything like that. But I mean, that was a huge part of it, was him and his Eopie, and eventually his Bantha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of I think that they're like, you know what? Boba loved that Bantha. We got to give it to Boba. He's going to have an Eopie this whole time.
I can just imagine the discourse after episode 6 will be like, look, did we need it? Do we need the Obi-Wan series? No, we didn't need it. Am I glad we got it? Sure, I'm glad we got it. But now we got to move forward and blah, 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 blah. And then it's going to be like, but take me back to give me a Qui-Gon series. This is weird. There's this weird contradictory disconnect with fans when they claim they want new things moving forward. They don't want to look back, and then when this hits, it's the biggest fucking thing they've had engagement wise since The Force Awakens. You know what I mean? Like, it's the strangest stuff. I have to be honest with
myself too, Rob. Like, I'm one of those people. I'm like, I want something new and different, and then I get something new and different. I'm like, why can't you focus on what we already had? And then you sit there and you're like, I'm never gonna be happy.
Well, I think you might. I
But I
think
have the self-awareness to at least see that.
yeah.
It is
No, but
look. It's. I've been there. It's a weird duality to our fandom, or
Yeah.
that's where I go. Look, that's why they got to have two things in the pipeline: something new, something you didn't know you wanted.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like Jason, you did a whole episode the other day while I was off living life. Or Andor's already starting season 2. And someone in the comments goes, season 2? When did we get the first one? I'm like, but if they're excited, they know what they're doing.
They're that confident in that show.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's what I think we're gonna. I think like once we get out of this year, we're gonna have a good combination of those things. We're like, you know what, we got a Kenobi show just now. We had a Boba Fett show. And then we get Mando 3, which is sort of like in between. And then we're going to move on to the High Republic stuff. But Ahsoka and
we had that weird ass droid story thing where they had sex on camera and we didn't know that they were going to film that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they put the mature story up on the mature settings on Disney Plus for droid story.
Yeah, if you've ever seen that top C-3PO card where he has the big metallic or gold boner.
Yeah, when the costume broke. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you've seen R2D2's dick in almost every movie he's been in, right? Like
wasn't that the green card 125, wasn't it? It was tops 125.
Yeah, it was like I think when they were scanning the negative, it moved a little bit or something.
No, it's because his thing. Is
that what it is?
His costume actually popped open. The cummerbund or whatever you want to call it. It popped out. Yeah, and you got the 3PO dick.
I'm all about that 3PO dick.
Nice.
Salvador says Lucasfilm is connecting all the movies in the TV series. Is there a connection in Obi-Wan Kenobi with the sequels contingency plan? I will. You know what?
Lightly.
Okay. All right. Salvador, because you're our Salvador. I will say this. After you watch the Kenobi series and you meet the Polly Pocket, then you watch episode 9 and you have that never underestimate a droid stuff, you might not only think about R2D2. You might think, oh, Polly Pocket. Okay. I don't know if you will, but that's one thing I have heard that it's going in
I'm skeptical of that. It's just saying. I'm skeptical.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if it connects or not. You know what I mean? If it works or not. Right. And the Polly Pocket might be the big thing. Might want to be the big thing that everybody gripes about, or for all we know, the Polly Pocket is our next Grogu Baby Yoda thing. And
all I can think about is Fantastic Beasts and that little creature that lives in oh my god, Salamander. What's his name?
I still haven't
Fantastic
seen that.
Beasts, the wizard.
No one knows what the fuck you're talking about, X-Wing. Like,
no, it's from Fantastic Beasts. I can't remember his name. He's the
we don't know what you're talking about. Nobody here, not even
is.
Star Wars Santa or Meg knows what you're talking about.
He's got this little. There's a little magical beast that lives in his pocket, and it looks like a bamboo vine, like a little bamboo vine, and it crawls out and it picks locks and pockets and does all that stuff. And
look, enough rumors about Johnny Depp have been spread online as it is. I don't need you adding to it right now.
Hashtag me poo.
I heard Star Wars Meg went to Hogwarts though. I heard that's where she went to school, so she probably knows. I'll ask her.
Probably, yeah. That's why she looks down on all of us colonists.
Muggles, calls us Muggles.
But she just uses Americans, and it's pretty close. Pretty close.
So anyway, what's up, Arya? Arya says Kylo Ren managed to attack Mustafar, get the map to visit Sidious, talk to him, and plan his revenge to kill Rey in under 8 minutes. Reva's story is not going to dent Kenobi at all. Yeah, and by the way, Arya, that opening though was super long. Like when I was getting the spoilers for that stuff, like they really turned that into a montage at the end of the day. But yeah, the Reva story is like any character, he's Obi-Wan Kenobi, so there is a lot of Kenobi like encountering people and talking to them. Everything is from his perspective in this series, so it's not just like Kenobi on the EOP, which kind of sounds funny. That should be somebody's podcast, Kenobi on the EOP. But anyways, they he has to talk to people. That's the other thing. People have to do things. The other characters have to have arcs and motivations, or this doesn't go anywhere. And it just kind of blows my mind, though, that this isn't anybody's first rodeo in covering Star Wars when you get down to it. And you would think that we've never seen a movie or a TV series before, and that we don't know, But like I said, if the show comes out and we're just hanging out with Reva for fucking 40 minutes an episode, of Kenobi's like, hello there, and leaves, I will totally change my opinion of it and be like, yeah, that's bullshit. But like I said, that's not going to be the case here, I don't think.
Well, and do you really want a Kenobi show where he's just on Tatooine, like watching Luke?
No.
Is that what you want from a Kenobi show?
Look,
do you want that?
They already got people hanging out at Disney World calling them groomers. That wouldn't help right now. The timing would would be bad.
When you have to think about what would have to happen to make that exciting, is that eventually Vader would basically have to show up on the Lars homestead for it to be exciting. And that's like not... You want to talk about pissing old Star Wars fans off? Have Vader show up on the Lars homestead. People would be like, never! That would never happen! It's impossible!
Yeah.
I've come from my mother, a totally different Skywalker. Our last names are like Smith in this galaxy. I can just... He says all that. Just
Skywalker is a very common name.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, there's your sequel tie-in. Like, apparently everybody's Skywalker now.
Well, I mean, the other thing to also throw out there is that all of these characters, to the best of my knowledge, have been in this story since like 2017.
Reva,
yeah, Reva's one of the original characters for the Kenobi film.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Oh, the film. Okay.
Yeah, I was hearing about Reva. She was a little bit different, but I was hearing about Reva back in 2018. I want to say, actually, around the time of Solo: A Star Wars Story. And so these characters, they are fleshed out. Like they're not. It's not just like, let's make them up and then what are we gonna do with them? Like I feel like Fennec Shand, for instance. I think she's one where they made her up and they didn't know where they were going to go. They were just having her suit whatever they needed in the moment. And I think you can make a pretty good critique on Fennec Shand being literally almost worthless, other than just giving him somebody to talk to.
It landed though with the fans.
Did it?
Yeah, that's the weird part. Is a lot of people, even the real grifty people are like, hey, she's pretty cool.
Yeah, is it because she's hot?
Is it because she's hot? You're strong woman.
Is that what makes it work that she's hot? I don't
These
know.
are the people that talk about character arcs like they know what they're talking about. Then, right? Like,
but that
well, here's where her arc is. She chews on meat and talks. Snark.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a whole lot of growth.
No,
really. I thought she would lead the mods because she's a mod or some fucking thing where she's, look, now that I have a robot stomach, I can do this. Like all sorts of weird shit. Like nothing. Like
just kind of saves Boba Fett's ass without.
I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so much, man. Don't take it away from me. I gotta have her.
Yeah, I mean, that's whenever I talk to my friends who are in that field and stuff like that, they're like, yeah, this character is just like half baked, and they should really do something with her. Like one of my
kind of just there.
Yeah, like it would have been more interesting, like there's just such a better backstory that could have bonded them. The bond between them, it's not sold very well, like in Robin Hood. I bring Robin Hood up because she fucking puts her leg up and bites the chicken like she's one of the fucking Robin Hood's merry men or something. And it has that kind of vibe to it. But like when Robin Hood fights little John in that stream, you do get where they like fought each other as warriors, and now there's this stupid respect. And it's like, okay. And then you kind of see like how he's then like, one of the tribe now, so to speak. And like they don't,
or just how about competing philosophies? Like he's like, I gotta do it with respect, and she's like, that shit don't fly. You know what I mean? She goes, oh, okay, we'll do it with respect, and she goes and murders everyone just to get it done.
Well, it was like that little Gina Mando fight, right? When they come outside of the hut and they start beating the shit out of each other, and then they're like, oh, okay, you get it. Oh, I get it. Yeah, they get it. You know what I mean? But all we get in Book of Boba Fett is a short conversation about how we've been doing jobs all the time. Pilgrims, we should not do it anymore. Pilgrims. It was just like, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the Gina Carano example is a really good one. That works just like Robin Hood. And then you're like, yeah, now they respect each other. Okay.
Yep.
And it just doesn't feel like that. So, anyways,
I like that Moon Knight's going through that same thing right now, but with himself.
Yeah.
Hey, that's genius. Like, that's smart.
We don't need another character.
What if the clones? I mean, what if Boba Fett was seeing himself everywhere in his own head because all the clones are interconnected or something? There's different clone personalities embedded in all that DNA and shit. Like, I don't know. Like, there's some weird shit they could have done that Lucas would have totally been in. You know that weird Lucas shit. You know, he always throws something in there. You're like, what? So
originally Lando was a clone, and Leia didn't like him. She was clone racist.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
it's 2020.
And people are like, sure, it's the clones that she doesn't like.
Don't worry though, she's still racist against Wookiees. That hasn't changed at all because she calls them a walking carpet.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I hate to show up and boot, but I gotta go, guys.
All right, dude. Good to see you, man. You're always welcome to come on. Always good to hang out with you.
Thanks for having me on. I didn't get the verbal beating I really wanted from Rob.
It's coming.
I'll be back.
It's coming, dude.
I promise.
He's more familiar with you now. He's analyzing all of your weaknesses. He's gonna.
I know. I can see him looking at me just with like the eyes, like, oh, you just wait, bro. You just wait.
All right. Okay.
All right. You guys have a good night. Okay.
Later,
Rob,
dude.
Thank you, brother. Jason, thanks for having me, bud.
Anytime, man. Yeah.
It's the most well-spoken person we've ever had on the show, next to Meg. No one's more well-spoken than the Brits, right? They got the best.
That's true. Yeah, I call that like being British is like an unfair cheat code. In this stuff, but yeah, he's a hilarious dude. I love that guy. Arya says, "Did you hear the news that Thrawn casting for live action is done? Benedict Cumberbatch gave the goofy excuse that Liam gave as to why he isn't playing the role, but he is clearly under NDA." I haven't seen anything about that. The only thing that I know,
Sarsgaard was playing him.
No. The only thing that I know is that like when everyone was doing that casting news about Rebels, like if it wasn't in the trades, it was bunk. Like basically like Sabine and the supporting characters that we've heard of, those are on. But I don't know anything. Are they saying who's saying Benedict Cumberbatch though?
I heard. Well, Star Wars makes it. It was good old Sarsgaard. That was like 2 days ago.
No. She was talking about Mads Mikkelsen's brother, wasn't she?
Well, whatever. Those Mikkelsens, you know what I'm talking about. Those fucking dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got it wrong on the name, but in my defense, there's a lot of these fucking Mikkelsens and Sarsgaards running around. So
yeah,
I'm a little.
but anyways,
confused.
People were taking it that the voice actor, so that the voice actor from Star Wars Rebels would be the actual actor, and if they were doing that, they would have probably done it with Ezra Bridger, but they didn't. So I don't think that's where it's going, and but I don't know who they actually picked or anything. So Darth Beckham says Fennec became another wasted opportunity. What I will say is with Fennec kind of having not moved anywhere on the board, so to speak, it doesn't mean it has to stay that way. It could be a very liminal thing, meaning she may be in between story arcs right now, and she may get a good one in the future. And like Rob was talking about her being a mod, if they do continue on with the Book of Boba story in any way, that does seem like a logical place where it could pivot to.
I just want to clarify my whole Book of Boba Fett season 2 hate here, right? I just want to clarify for the record, because I don't think I've made it clear enough. Because I know you were getting a little confused when I was talking about. I'm not saying I don't think it should be done. I'm not saying there isn't tremendous opportunities with these characters. All of them. All the ones across the board. There's all sorts of opportunities. I could always sit here and give out 20 of them if we want to do a whole show on things they could do. Mm-hmm. Do I think they're going to do any of that? No. No, I haven't seen anything to lend me. I haven't seen Favreau pivot hard left when he's wrong. I've seen him kind of keep going down a path to prove he's right. So in any project, matter of fact, it got to the point after Iron Man 2 that he was originally supposed to direct Avengers, and they parted ways at Marvel because he was unwilling to change, anything. Like, you go back, read the Marvel Studios book, folks, if you want to get a good idea. don't take my word for it. It's 40% off or 50%
Okay.
off or whatever on fucking Amazon. But so I'm just saying, like, could he just keep doing what he was doing and give us more of it to show that, look, we could write better versions of this? Probably. But all these ideas we're talking about, I just don't see them doing any of that stuff, like,
Yeah.
unless they get a new writer and someone who comes in and says, hey, I got to take, I saw what you were doing. I think we could do this. No. And then that new person is the person who sort of spearheads that direction. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And my take is the writing was flawed. Like I think that
Yes.
we had two problems, but I will say one of these things was not like the rest, and that was Robert Rodriguez. And I think
Yeah.
maybe moving away from Robert Rodriguez and him trying a lot harder with that story to continue it. Maybe we'll take it into someplace more interesting. And but gotta say, I'm not so sure how interested I am in Boba Fett after he's a good guy. Kind of think I might be a little bit more interested in Boba Fett when he's a bit of more on the scoundrel side of things, And Eric,
Or a revenge story,
or
like,
yeah, which
he
would
goes
be the
down the
Mace
path.
thing potentially, and it would be great if he ruined this whole empire, going after like revenge, and then at the end of it ends
Yeah.
up back where he was as a bounty hunter. Like that would be a great ride.
That's that real Better Call Saul Breaking Bad story. The failure arc is an arc. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
work out. It's how we ended up with Anakin. Like, it's captivating to watch good people make bad decisions.
Sure.
Yeah.
Eric says sup Chicos, so I'm gonna say yeah. So Razor Roken is your new wrestling name, Eric. Razor Roken.
Chico. I'm the bad guy.
So Arya says a reporter asked Benedict if he would take the role of Thrawn, and he replied with that he didn't want to be painted blue and take the paint off. Does that seem like a big deal, or is he lying? I'm gonna throw it out there that it's a big deal. He knows who Thrawn is. That's almost the only thing that makes me think that it's even in the realm of possibility.
100%.
You
I was about to say that the fact that he even knows who that character is, do you really think Benedict Cumberbatch was reading Timothy Zahn books in 1991, 92?
I mean, it's possible. He's a weird looking guy. He probably didn't get I think he got weird hot to people later on, I'm going to guess. So it's possible,
I believe he was really reading Sherlock. Look, he played Sherlock. He could have been like, I heard it's like Sherlock in Star Wars. I'll read it, But I would also say, what's he supposed to say right now? Because he's doing promo on Strange. So Doctor Strange. So if he says anything that gives away another project, it's just going to take away from the promotional tour they're doing for this movie they're selling now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. If that's the extent of it, though, I would say I am far from convinced on that alone. It does. They have tried to get Benedict into Star Wars for some time, but then he ended up in the Doctor Strange role. And obviously Disney and the Disney and the corporation and the casting people are all the same people. So it wouldn't surprise me if it went that way, but I don't know. I'm hoping that we get some casting news on that pretty soon, but Arya goes on to say, and I agree with her, that the dude would attract a lot of new fans. His status is insane, and he's a lot more popular than Lars Mikkelsen and Thrawn as the voice actor. Yeah, I completely agree 100%. With you there. Yeah, it would be the biggest star casting that you can do for Thrawn. But I also look at it from another perspective, depending on what the parameters of the role actually end up being. There's a lot of competing versions of Thrawn going on right now in various media, if you will. Between the films, or where the films are going to go, but between the cartoon, the novels, and stuff like that. So I have a feeling it's going to be a third version of that. So, it could be a more seasoned British actor who's not like a leading man caliber, might be actually better like the guy who played Pride. And, they might want to go that way. I doubt they will. I think they will go with somebody like him, but I'm not completely sold on Thrawn as being a good idea. Blue people make me laugh. And so for the most part, like it's gonna have to look really good. I hope it looks really good. And I
Cat
will
Bane
also
looked great. They're
look at how
doing
people are taking the fucking Grand Inquisitor right now.
Yeah, but
do
that's just because he's a giant bulbous head. It's
Yeah.
odd. I mean, I don't know how that made it through production. Like whoever signed off, like look, generally it's a director, but I don't know
I
how that
like
works
it.
over there.
I like
You
it.
know?
I like that it looks like a fucking Cenobite, like a fucking Hellraiser kind of like dude or something. Like I like that aspect of it. The only problem is that we have an established look. We have an established
Right.
like vibe for him entirely, and they kind of like riffed on it a little bit. I ultimately I don't think the Grand Inquisitor has screen time, but I don't think he's like that important. I don't think he's like that. He's just more like this arrogant son of
But
a
they got
bitch.
the Cat Bane's design on Boba Fett was pretty good. Like
People hate
it's
it.
fucking
I disagree with them. I think it's fantastic.
what?
Oh yeah.
They hate it?
Mm-hmm. Because see the thing is like okay, so like if you look at Star Wars Rebels, look at Darth Vader, which riffs on Macquarie really hard. It doesn't look like the design for Darth Vader in Empire Strikes Back. Well, the dimensions are elongated and stuff like that. So when they
Yes.
and Cad Bane is the same kind of concept. Like look at Count Dooku in Clone Wars, elongated head. It's a design. So
I
when
would have
they
probably just given him a bigger hat. Like,
Mhm.
but that's because I mean a giant cool like cross between a western hat and that samurai kind of like cool fucking the
Yeah.
dude from like one of those Three Storms or some shit would wear like in Big Trouble in Little China. Just a little bit more like that. Other than that, man, that fucking makeup work and that
Mm-hmm.
and the way the teeth, all that shit is fucking hella sick, bro. Like if people are complaining about that, I mean, holy shit. Like what more do you want? Like
Yeah.
he looks better than any of the villains they conjured up in them sequels. Like, no offense, man. Like he looks like a
I
real fucking villain. Like
I mean, at the end of the day, like for me, you can make the character 1-to-1, and it from design wise. But if they don't capture the character, if it doesn't feel like
correct.
Cad Bane, then I don't give I don't give a fuck. And so I got to be honest. I think Rupert may bring a lot more to the role of the Inquisitor in live action that may sell it in a much better way. We just don't know. We haven't seen him speak. Really, we've heard him speak, but we haven't really like seen like a scene with him. And so I think it would be kind of wise to show some good stuff from that if they have it sometime soon. But David, channel
Tone
member,
poems.
thank you, David, for being a channel member, by the way. Yeah, I'm all about the tone poems. Bring them back. Don't be so scared, Disney. Now, actually, I'm a little scared about the tone poems under Disney. They'd be like, we got Maya Angelou to write.
Woke. I'm woke Star Wars. I'm woke.
It would be cool if they were just like, we told her she could do whatever she want, and they're like, shit burger, Star Wars, shit burger. You're like, what is this?
I mean,
poem
you know damn well that if the Force Awakens had come out with today's politics, right? Like it would be the Awokens, all that shit. Like it would be nonstop, like
Yeah.
nonstop.
Well,
Yeah,
Mandalorian.
crazy.
David Lozano says Benedict was the popular knee-jerk pick way back in the day, but Lars Mikkelsen has had Thrawn in the bag for months and months now, it seems. I don't, like I said, so here's my, just to like clarify my perspective behind the scenes on this shit. Those pieces were coming out while I was hearing about people being hired on to Ahsoka and where they were going to go and what was happening and stuff like that. Well, as that's going on, everyone's saying they haven't done the casting yet. So I think it stands to reason, most likely, on that right there alone, that those stories probably weren't true. But every now and then they have an intent deal, or they did cast it and they just don't let anybody know, and then that gets out, and then it seems like that. So he could be it, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm gonna guess. I'm just gonna throw it out there. My bet is it's somebody that hasn't been said yet. it's somebody
Well,
that
so
no
far,
one.
man, I've been impressed with Filoni's casting. Like,
Mhm.
you know, like, you know me, I'm not a fan of his naming conventions and shit, but his casting has been spot on perfect. I mean, not just Rosario Dawson, but like getting the voice of Pedro Pascal makes it really does. It was just the voice alone really works. Getting Michael Biehn in that episode really fucking great. You know, like whoever they cast, I can't remember the character that Ahsoka fought in there, the one with the spear and shit.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I can't
good
remember. Her name is
actress,
like Mevelin or something. I can't remember what it
I
was
can't
now.
remember these names, man. But good
Yeah.
actress, memorable. You know, like so
Mhm.
far visually, actors wise, I've been for all this. Again, I don't have any real gripes with his casting. You know,
Yeah.
so he'll find the right person for Thrawn. I think Filoni knows fans care about this one.
Well, I got to be honest. I don't know if Filoni can actually write Thrawn as a complicated military strategist. Like I don't know
Oh yeah, that
if
I'm worried about. Yeah,
I don't know. If, yeah,
Yeah.
like I honestly think
Yeah.
that somebody who could write Hannibal Lecter needs to write him. You know what I mean? Like that's where I would take
Yeah.
this. I'm not saying he's going to be beating people or anything like that, but it like that would be sorry Army Hammer.
No,
Don't
you
get
know what
excited.
you need
But-
Vince. You need like a Vince Gilligan, one of those guys on Breaking Bad, or like someone like. To be honest, I really love Esposito, right?
Mhm.
Was Giancarlo, right? His
Yeah,
character's not as smart as the Chicken Man,
no,
Gustavo Fring. And if you
no,
look at on Better Call Saul, the Tony Dalton character, the Salamanca, right? That a villain. He's the when I saw him in that show, bro, I was like, this motherfucker needs to be Zorro, and he needs to team up with Django for that Tarantino fucking thing and do a Django Zorro fucking crossover. And then when they put him in Hawkeye as a Zorro, like he's swinging a blade and shit, I'm like, of course, because whoever fucking he's so fucking charming, but he's like Khan, right? He has a smile and a quietness and a villainous, and he's smart. And I haven't gotten smart from Filoni's villains. You know,
Yeah.
they're very twirly mustachy. You know, I am
Yeah.
worried about that.
Yeah, and it's not like even like a critique on Filoni. It's not like a I don't believe in Filoni, for instance. I do. I just think that maybe there are parameters to what he can do, or what he should do.
I wouldn't
where his
want to
strengths lie.
be in charge of writing Thrawn. I think that's a hard character.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think it would be a good idea if Dave Filoni left Lucasfilm today if he went and tried to do the next Breaking Bad Better Call Saul series. I don't think he would be a good fit. You know what I mean? And like that's
right.
And that's the kind of where I go with. That's where I'm at with Thrawn and him in general. But Darth Maximus says, I completely agree with Rob. Who thought the Grand Inquisitor with the light bulb head was cool? And
Come on, look, in t-shirts, man, you do this thing. You put the stuff on a wall, right? And you bring in the people who haven't been staring at the art for the last week. They come in, they look at it, and then they react. Look at his head, and you know that kid's gonna get punched. Like, don't put the big bulbous head dude on his shirt so the kid can get punched. You know, think about it.
Yeah, and like I said, I got to see more of him. Like I think if we only saw him on Dayu, I don't know if it would be the criticism would be as strong as seeing him on Tatooine, where I don't think he I think he looks worse there.
Fair enough.
But we'll have to see. You know what I mean? And ultimately, I don't think it's going to matter to the show because all he does that I really know of is he makes Reva jealous of the fifth brother to make them do his bidding. And it's like, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, he's not really that important. He can't die. He dies in Rebels, so he can't die here. And so
I'm not a fan of the way Palpatine looks in Revenge of the Sith. I think he looks bloated. I'm not saying I should say Sidious. Palpatine himself, when he's at the space opera, talking looks great. But when he's fighting Yoda and shit, he just looks pregnant. So I'm like, but people love it. So
and the actor got old. I mean, that's why the actor got old, you know, and then the makeup looks weird on him now. So it's like what are you gonna do?
Master.
Fair enough. But me first. KG says, I've heard live Cad Bane hate, even down to the shade of blue used. Yes, I have too. and it's
People are
not
nuts.
yeah, it is like a little bit like what it really comes down to is that somebody sees if they do this 5-second Photoshop, they could get likes and validation on Twitter. And so then they push it. And then it seems like, yeah, that is a thing. And or yeah, that looks better because it looks like what I know and stuff. But I think Cad Bane was way creepier looking and cool, but in live action. But
Yeah,
whatever.
I wanted the whole series with him. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I wanted him to do. He should have been there the whole time, fucking being a foil in their fucking side, because he has a point. Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer. Why are you like he has a? It's a villain who has a point. You can understand. You know, like you. Why are you trusting this fucking dude? Only problem is just doesn't go anywhere. Like if Boba Fett was secretly using them for another agenda, that would have been even better too, right? Like you kill
Yeah.
the guy who was right. You know, like
Oh, I want to use Arya's comment here to hit on like two little things. Excuse me. I wrote an article from Reva's perspective, and I called the Jedi Order corrupt in how the Inquisitors, were seeing the corrupt Jedi Order. And I've heard that now spawned off into being that there's this other corrupt Jedi Order that runs parallel. Bespin texted me something
What?
about somebody saying that, and I was just like, oh my god, like that's just out of control. And I want to make it clear that the people on Jabim, they're not like Jedi and like Jedi clothes. I don't, as far as I know, they're not walking around like even Obi-Wan Kenobi is not really walking around like necessarily in like his Jedi standard, like I am a Jedi kind of thing, you know. And so, anyways, when you see the people on Jabim, I've been told they were Force sensitives. They're not exactly Jedi. These are people that couldn't make, and other people too. It's not just Jedi on Jabim, for the record, or but that are part of this whole thing. So, but that's Obi-Wan Kenobi in that leaked footage, and that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's just what you're seeing is the stunt actor because. And I wrote about that footage well before it came out and talked about more. There's a lot more to that footage too than what's out there. And so you're just seeing the stunt man in the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing with that robe on. That's the only reason why it looks a little bit like what's going on here. You know what I mean? That's where that's coming from. Anyways, David says, so you all agree on Filoni not writing Thrawn? Gotta definitely hire some massive talent. Yeah, and we don't really know if there's any other writers on Ahsoka. Like we don't know if it's Favreau and Filoni or if it's all Filoni. But it does sound like it's primarily Filoni because I think it's a story. I think this is the story that would likely have been continued in animation had Filoni not found success with The Mandalorian. That I think really, opened up a lot of doors for him through Disney and stuff. So,
right.
Oh, it's the Beskar Batman. Hey, how's it going? Lalo Salamanca is a great villain.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Great. That's the guy who Tony Dalton's playing on Better Call Saul.
Oh, okay.
So this is a Reva situation in that you got a prequel. You can't kill Gustavo Fring. You can't kill Salamanca, the guy in the wheelchair, right, with the little bell. You can't. What do you do? So they created another Salamanca that we don't know what his fate is, but this actor, he brings a smile, like an energy, like a threatening, happy guy personality to it. Like he's so good.
Okay.
Like it's one of those things where an actor, brought more to that role than was on the page. I guarantee it. Like
Gotcha.
Perfect, so good.
Gotcha. Yeah. What else we got here? Darth Maximus says, Obi-Wan to homie, aka Best of Batman, me too, homie. So they all agree. Everyone is agreeing tonight. David says Timothy Zahn needs to be involved, but with Thrawn, but doesn't necessarily need to write for live action. Thrawn needs to take his place in the pantheon of baddies alongside Palpatine and Vader. Yeah, I mean, oftentimes it's not exclusive, doesn't necessarily have to go this way, but he could be your favorite novelist and not be a good script writer or not write great lines for people to say. You know what I mean? That's kind of where this goes. So but I do think that in terms of like the psychology of him, Timothy Zahn would be a good person to get behind him. But at the same time, I don't know.
It'd be
I'm not
good
like
PR.
I'm not. Yeah, it would be good PR more than anything because I don't really think that it like in Rebels. I don't think I felt Timothy Zahn's presence. I don't feel like I felt like he was very much just like I'm gonna get those rebels, and this is unpopular opinion, but I think it's just really kind of stupid that he takes like 5 superficial artifacts from a culture, and this is the anthropologist in me probably, but who goes like, oh, now you can explain them and defeat them and know everything about them from this. It's like I don't know, man. I know. I think before you said it was like the
In a
Sherlock
world
thing,
where there's
but
space wizards and
yeah,
wills and midichlorians and shit.
yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, no, it definitely like it's like you definitely have to like kind of like almost dumb it down and go with it, and I'm fine with it. I will, you know what I mean?
Is that the Dunn-Kugler effect, or where like the more you know about a subject, like it's like when the news comes on, and you're like, oh, I know about that shit. I think Michael Crichton like came up with this name for it, but it's like when I figured this out when I was a kid, like when they in 1982 they were talking about Superman in comic books because the death of Superman in Image Comics, and
Okay.
that's when I realized they don't know anything about comic books and they're talking about this on the news like they know, That's when I realized what else are they talking about because I don't know anything else about
Oh my
sports or
god,
politics.
there was this YouTube therapist. He's like a real life therapist, and he would like do like would psychoanalyze like famous people that were like in big kick ups and stuff. And I found his channel like fascinating, and I'm like, there's just like a pill to authority based on his position. And he covered the Gina Carano situation in Star Wars, and it was so fucking wrong and off. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe anything this guy says now. Like I don't care what, I don't know, whatever his opinion is. He's so wrong on this. He so misunderstands it all, and it's so not like the facts. And I'm just like, oh, it killed it for me. I don't watch this shit anymore.
Which is why I have to be very careful. I never ever fucking tell people I know something that I don't have any really somewhat of an informed. Like I don't know anything about that. Like if you said, Rob, you know that movie where that guy happens, and you have friends who go, oh yeah, I know that, and they don't fucking know what you're talking about. Like they've never seen the shit. They just and then you got to be a dick and call them out on it. Like just say you don't know. Like I don't know anything about this. I don't know what to say.
That's what I try and do. Like when somebody asks me, about like the footage today, I actually don't know. I just what I put out is what I know. 2 15-second clips coming this week. Should be cool, So, Obi-Wan Dahomey asks, how much Thrawn do you think we'll see in Andor, given it's looking like we might get 3 seasons? I don't know anything about Thrawn in Andor. I only know that Thrawn is in Star Wars Ahsoka. And I'm going to say that Thrawn is likely not in Andor at all whatsoever because he wasn't cast yet, because he's being cast for Ahsoka, which hasn't filmed a frame yet. So
yeah, you're more likely to see what's his face, Krennic, right? You're more likely to see him. Not that I know anything about that. I'm just like,
yeah, Krennic and Saw Gerrera. You're more likely to see. And so we'll have to see where it goes. By the way, did you see Screen Rant debunk me?
No.
On my Cassian Andor thing. So I got that Cassian Andor is filming at Elstree. And like when they're gonna start and stuff. And they reached out to me and they're like, Disney's denying this. And I'm like, well, they're not telling you the truth. I do have that if the shoot window
is there
18
debunking?
Months.
Hold on, is there debunking? No, the Dunning-Kruger effect is something else, Pimpstick. Is there debunking? Like I asked a publicist and they denied it. Like,
yep,
that's not a. Are we fucking doing this? Like,
yeah.
Hey, is it true that his name is Roken? Oh, I don't know anything about it. See, it's not true. You're doing
Well, I asked him. I was like, if you ask them if they're filming the show for 18 months, that's a denial. I don't believe they're filming one season for 18 months. By the way, but anyways, yeah. So, but over the weekend, I talked to more of my peoples, and my peoples are saying the same thing. So yeah, so I guess I'll have to do an article if I'm right called
I'm thinking of the Gel.
Making Star Wars
Hold on.
debunks Screen Rant and Disney.
It's the Gell-Man amnesia effect, right? That's what I'm thinking of. It's the Gell-Man's amnesia effect, and this is where when you see something in the news that you know about, you go, "This is bullshit." They don't know what they're talking about, but then you immediately watch whatever they say next, and since you don't have any idea what they're talking about, you just trust whatever they tell you.
Oh, see,
Like,
I don't do that. I completely lose all faith
Yeah.
in humanity and the world and unsubscribe from their
Gen
channels.
X,
And...
I know.
Hey, I told you I'm the
killed
Oregon
CNN
Trail.
Plus.
I'm an exennial, and I stick by that. We're different. A little bit.
I believe it.
It's a little bit different. But
The Dunning-Kruger effect is the more you know, the less you know. You
see,
believe
I
it,
always
right?
wanted to be Gen X,
of an
and that is the epitome of not being Gen X. Gonna throw that out there. That's why, you know what I mean? Like I wish I was Gen X, but I know that means I'm not Gen X. That's how I know it's real.
Such a you can't do that on television take. Like,
right.
All right, Ross.
That's fair. So Arya says, "Is it true that the 501st Vader chase Kenobi and Leia?" Yeah, I have that in my article. That the 501st, the new Purge troopers, and the Inquisitors land on Jabim, and there will be a conflict. And is this right after Anakin gets his suit in the 501st? Wait, what? After Anakin gets his suit, and the 501st are still around? Yeah, the 501st they don't ever go away. To the best of my knowledge, like how it works is the 501st are just the blue clone troopers at first. And then when he becomes Darth Vader, they just become his stormtrooper regiment. And yeah, but they and this is of course 10 years later. So, Luke and Leia are 10 years old, and but the 501st stormtroopers do land. And they are with the new Purge troopers and the Inquisitors. And
so they named those little troopers in Revenge of the Sith the 501st after the 501st?
Exactly.
The ones that kill children?
Yes, they but in real life they do charitable things.
I know, they took it as a compliment though.
I mean yeah, and they did try to kill TV's Jimmy Smits.
Yeah, TV's Jimmy's. When's the last time he was on TV?
I don't know, but I've always called him TV's Jimmy Smits because it just makes me laugh to do so. But Butler, we still don't know who's voicing Vader. It is a great question, and yeah, I have a feeling, like I said before, I think they're going to move towards the emulated thing over time, like how they do Luke. But I do not believe that they would do that in good confidence or faith while James Earl Jones is alive, unless James Earl Jones was to come sell his voice to them, so to speak, and help them develop the sound bank and the samples to grow the tech.
What if you give me passes to Galactic Starship? Trade you my voice for unlimited passes to. He just wants to role play for his remaining years.
I hope when Darth Vader shows up, like in Kenobi, you hear "She's your woman" or whatever he's from.
She's your queen to be. I love the majesty.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Every desire. He just did that on set. Like, they did not expect that. He just did that. Like, made all that shit up. Like, he's a comedian.
That?
Yeah, he improvised that. Like, they're trying. Genius. Everyone's trying to not fucking laugh. Like,
dude, did you watch Coming to America too?
Nope, I won't watch sequels to comedies.
I gotta be honest with you, man. I gotta be honest with you right now. Drop what you're doing right now and go. Don't watch it. Go and don't watch it. It's the worst.
I can't watch sequels to comedies.
It really
they never turn out well.
Yeah, it really. I mean, I wanted that as a kid. You know what I mean? As a kid, you're like, when's Coming to America 2 coming out? Because I get 2 of everything I like. And man, that really hurt. You know how they I know you didn't see it, but you ever see how they do like a Christmas Story 2? And it's just like clearly about getting somebody to buy something at a check stand. It's trash. It's just about getting it on the shelf and getting a sucker to buy it. It was very close to being that kind of Coming to America movie.
Yeah, Hot Shots Part 2 might be one of the few rare comedy sequels.
Oh, Naked Gun?
Airplane 2, but they tend to just remake. It's a remake of the first film. Like
Sure.
they have you ever seen a comedy sequel that takes it to another level? Like offhand, I couldn't. If we were on a game show right now, we had to do it in 10 seconds. I'd be like, multiple choice, because I can't fucking think about it off. It's hard. I can't. It's not good. I
Yeah.
thought they would have done like a Trading Places sequel with a Coming to America cameo and then the Coming to America. Like, you know what I mean? Like back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah.
But not.
Yeah, they had better ideas for Coming to America too. Like I had heard other ones over the years that they were like looking into. I don't know why they went the way that they did, but I think they just needed to make something. They didn't give a shit. Tyler Bruce says, "What's up, Tyler?" Says 22 Jump Street is good, and 22 Jump Street is good. Yeah, there have been. I mean, I agree. I think there have been good sequels to comedies, but for the most part, like Dumb and Dumber or whatever, not really. Love Dumb and Dumber.
Well, there was that Dumb and Dumber prequel, and then the sequel.
Oh,
so there's
yeah,
two of them.
when Harry met Lloyd. I downloaded that shit on like Kazaa or something when I was like 20, I think. But anyways,
I watched several Police Academy films. They weren't getting better.
On Sunday mornings when I have my son with me, we usually will wake up in the morning and I take him to get pancakes somewhere. So today I woke him up, shake him, Luke, wake up. He's like, I'm like, come on, man, it's like 10 o'clock. It's time to get up, dude. And then so he gets up, and the first thing he does is looks at me and he says, "Dad, on my birthday, I want to watch the Naked Gun." And I was like, "You're like the coolest little guy I've ever met. So we could just watch it right now." So this morning we went and got pancakes and we watched the Naked Gun, and I was like, we can watch Naked Gun anytime you want. Like we own the movie. Like you could like literally just watch it whenever you want. Kids are weird, but I gotta say I'm pretty proud of my son because that's a pretty good one. Pretty good one to I don't know, obsess
and you get
over.
to see OJ get the shit kicked out of him for like.
He has no idea. I haven't broken it to him.
He just thinks he's a fun character, right?
Yeah. I can't do it, man. Can't do it. But on the flip side, it's kind of funny because on the flip side, me and my daughter, we watch like police interrogations together on YouTube, where they like analyze the body language and shit. You know what I mean? And she's into that, but I'm like, but for whatever reason, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna hold this.
Is this how you get spoilers, Daddy? Do you just interrogate them?
Yeah, pretty much.
So just play it, Thron.
I got some casting too. I got some casting right. I know cast. I got some cast right. I'm a big boy. Watch me do karate in the front yard. I'm smart. Oh man. I hate this term. I fucking hate it. I think it's stupid. It's overplayed. But living in somebody's head rent free is very weird. It really is, because I cannot describe it any other way.
Yeah, because he doesn't pop into my head until this shit comes up, and it's like, oh, that dude's fucking still doing his shit.
Yeah,
shouldn't he be out there getting spoilers or joining Street Fighter or entering the tournaments? Or some fucking join some UFC clubs. You're so fucking good, like
or I don't know, maybe go wash your red sweatpants or let Santa Claus wear the red sweatpants.
Oh man, I hope he's not free balling.
Imagine they has piss stains all over it because he fucking goes over the fence, when he pees. Aria says, "Why are we still getting Moff Gideon and Amanda? Why are we still getting Moff Gideon and Amanda season 3? I expected Thrawn as the villain, but couldn't they have used someone else that's scary?" Yeah, see, that's I think Aria is identifying what we're kind of talking about tonight, right? They're not really giving him the material.
Isn't scary. They haven't given him the material. Yeah, he doesn't have a plan. Like his plan is becoming like that actor's bringing whatever he can to that role, but it's paper thin on the sheet.
It's a mistake to have. I think it's one of the mistakes of the Mandalorian is having your villain linked to the mystery, so we actually like don't know anything. That this usually blows up in your face later on, like Battlestar Galactica. The Cylons have a plan, then they don't. Then now I watch
Yeah,
the
but
show
this
and
is
I'm like,
not hard. His plan could be the resurrection of Palpatine. Is when he ends up
probably
creating
is.
Snokes and all that shit. He could be the reason. That's literally the easiest thing they could do is just make him the guy that makes the whole sequel trilogy, possible. He's the reason why Ben Solo ends up getting fucked up all this shit,
Yeah.
And that's just. But it's like when you bring in Dark Troopers, I'm like, look, man, it's cool, but it's like, that's your big plan,
Yeah.
more weapons, like
That's where they come, like when they do that, my 8-year-old son is like, fuck yeah. Like I could see it on his face. But for me, I'm like, okay, you made big black robotic stormtroopers. Okay, I get it. So it's like they have a difficult position of having to make something work on two fronts. But I gotta say, Gideon, I don't think Gideon is making my kids giddy either. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see where it goes. But Obi-Wan Kenobi, excuse me, I just burped in the microphone. Does Beverly Hills Cop 2 count for action comedy? Love that movie. Yes, it does. You are
comedy, not comedy.
Fair enough.
Action comedy.
Yeah. It's action comedy, and I'm even going to throw Lethal Weapon 2 on there on the action comedy front.
Doing the neutron dance is the first one. Like that whole sequence, you don't get in a regular comedy unless it's like chickens are flying over. Like Austin Powers is a comedy. It's not an action comedy. It's a little different. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
Johanna says still hoping they go all out for Celebration. Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what it is. Generally speaking, the Celebration stuff is never as good as it could have been. That's usually the takeaway. And but I also think that's for people who go to the event and stand in line for that shit. And then so when you're just sitting at home like I'm going to be doing, or I don't know, maybe I'll go to Celebration so I could say hi to my friend in red sweatpants.
No, that one with Force Awakens they're gonna think I mean that now, But
Force Awakens,
the one with JJ, the big reveal was pretty cool. Like that whole thing was cool.
Aria's theory is that since Thrawn is hidden, where would be the best spot to hide be? In Mandalore, since nobody goes there. Thrawn could have built his empire in the mines. Yeah, I don't think Thrawn has any part of Mando 3. Like I got a pretty good grasp, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think I got a pretty good grasp on who's on there. And once again, when Mando 3 was filming, they hadn't cast Thrawn yet. All of these shows, they hadn't cast Thrawn yet. So Ahsoka is the only place for Thrawn to pop up at all. Next. So anyways, you guys going to Celebration? Asked David. No, I'm not. Rob will be there though. Rob
as a ghost.
Yeah, no, actually, no, David, like I haven't really been about going because of the of COVID and stuff like that. So I'm not super, down to pretend like we're not still in a pandemic and it's not still an issue. At the same time, I've had a couple of people offer to like give me badges if I want to go to the Kenobi screening and stuff like that. And so we'll have to see what's happening when we get there. But I also I feel like if it was just me and me risking myself, I would be okay with it. But like, I can't go to Celebration and not bring my kids. I think on one hand that would be kind of fucked up, and on the other hand, I wouldn't. If I go to Celebration, I get COVID and I give it to my kids for Star Wars. Oh, I will hate myself because there's already things that we just have to do living life. Like my kids have to go to school and stuff like that. And so like I'm not really happy about those risks, but at the same time, I don't know. I still may do it if it looks like we're in a better place by that time, but I doubt it. And Rob, I don't think Rob would go to Celebration if there wasn't like a pandemic and they paid him. I could be wrong though.
Are they gonna fly me out there, give me a room and board and shit? Like I can't see myself. It's always to go to LA to do anything. It's a $500 trip minimum, no matter what you do. So then I have to say, do I want to spend $500 going to Los Angeles? No, like it would have to be Jason's like, hey Rob, I got a whole thing planned, and we're gonna do this and meet this person. It had to be a giant, like once in a 4-year event. Like the last time I was in LA was for E3, but I went with the new magazine. I went because we had a game shipping. Spyro was there, and I schmoozed and managed to get on the Schmodown. Went down to Burbank and went to their studios, and like I worked that whole trip, bro, for every last penny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I'm like, okay, so the next time I ever make it down there, it would only be for like, I guess to hang out with you in a way, but it would have to be some real fucking deal because it's $500, man. Like it's a fucking PS5 to do anything down there, like.
Yeah, no.
It might be $1,000 now with the Airbnb and inflation and shit. Like
it's probably going to be more than 5. Yeah. And every time I go to something, I go, this is the last fucking time I'm doing this. Like I do that every single time I go. I'm like, this fucking like wasn't, you know what I mean? Like I've hit a point where when I like just it was like really amazing to see the cast of The Force Awakens. But today, if there was a new trilogy and the cast was going to be there, it would not. It's not going to really register with me at this point. I'm spoiled. I've seen too much, and then and I got to be honest. I'm also a little bit spoiled. And then I got to see the sets, and like so, it's kind of hard for me to top that for me. And that's it's a great place to be in for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's a humble brag, but it's like, when I've like looked at the Tatooine set, like how do I get excited about seeing a puppet that walks? I've seen the puppets on the sets before, like, so I'm super lucky, super privileged to have started this journey and then been able to see that stuff through my super sleuth. But I also so I don't know. I'm not sure if I will ever want to do that stuff or not, but I will when it's not a pandemic.
Convince the wife that's a meaningful fucking expenditure. Like she could spend that money and we could go see her sister, like in Canada. You know what I mean? Like like, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? So like, all the right things need to align for me to go down anywhere.
I was thinking about this too, like with my kids, man. Like they've never got to see any of that stuff. Like they never got to see BB-8 in person, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so like in the future, when it's safer, I may go and do something like that, like for them. You know what I mean? But
right.
but once again, and like what David's saying right now, we met at Chicago Celebration, Jason. I was super shocked to see you there. You were rad, and we took a picture together. Oh, it's rad. Yeah, it's before I got all this COVID weight back on. But but that right there is the other reason that I would love to go, is just to like hang out with and meet everybody who we talk to and see on the show and stuff like that. And
everyone's gonna be like, no, make fun of me, insult me, be an asshole. That's what you do.
That is you got the best thing going ever, dude. Like that's all I've ever wanted to do. Is what you got going.
Everyone hates me is the best thing ever. As long as you lean into it, you're cool with it. I like it.
No, they fucking. Everybody's like, Rob belittled me. This is great. And I'm just like,
it's producer material, Jason. Just letting you know.
Ari says this week is getting packed with leaks. These 15-second montages are close. Yeah, I hope I hope it's tomorrow. I really do. And Rob, we got on like a really long time, man. Thanks for staying up. But yeah, why don't we call this a show so that way you can go to sleep, or that way you're not a little Force Ghost tomorrow. But tomorrow in the morning, about 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be on Star Wars Santa Show in the morning. So if you have any more questions, come hang out with us in the morning if you guys are free in the chat there. And after that, at 11 a.m., we'll be back, and I'll have another story out tomorrow, and we'll talk about that and go over this some more if there's anything that we missed or any questions or anything like that have arisen. And yeah, so thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and thanks for staying up, Rob. And
I'm yawning, but no problem.
Okay, well that's fair. Little bitch out.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
It's not about spaceships.